Richard Armitage.
Hello.
Hello again.
Hello
and
again.
every time I see you, I look at you in the eye and I tell you, the latest thing you're in is my obsession. How do you do that to us?
It's become a kind of yearly event, hasn't it?
It really has. You become everybody's obsession. I mean, back in Spooks you were, and even before that and everything. But
I thought you were talking about...
I'm talking about Missing You.
Oh, Missing
You.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what did you think I was talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, tell me. What did you think I meant? Did you just mean in my dreams?
I was saying I'm a yearly event, but no, the show is a yearly event. No, it's been interesting. I've just put together a kind of Armitage brand deck, which I've never done before, which is gathering all of the work I've done over the past decade.
So it's a show reel in the old days.
It's like a kind of visual thing where you just put down how many people watched it, how much money it took at the box office. And I don't read reviews. I haven't read reviews for 20 years.
Well, they're very good, I can tell you.
I had to go through them all to pull out quotes. It's quite mortifying.
So what did you find out?
Just the amount of people that have been watching the Harlan Coben shows. How many? Just things like 293 million viewing hours, number one global, all of this.
What? 293
3 million viewing hours, which means that's how many hours people viewed it for.
Yes.
Yeah, those kind of numbers blow my mind.
That's
But also seeing it build from The Stranger to Stay Close to Fool Me Once and then Missing You, like there's been a graph that went whoop. So yeah, they're all very, very pleased.
So next January, there'll be another one lined up.
There will. I don't.
You know that one.
I won't. I don't think I'll be in it.
Why?
Well, I'm not in it.
Well, you know you're not in it.
I know I'm not in it. Well, they think I'm not in it. I might just turn up in Manchester and stroll onto set, see if they notice.
You can't, or we'll just call Harlan and go, what do you mean he's not in it? What do you mean?
But the crew wouldn't notice. They'd be like, yeah, Armitage is supposed to be in it. He's in all of them, wouldn't
He's in all of them.
I could just improvise my way.
God, isn't that an extraordinary amount of people, though? I mean, that's the power of television. From when you started out in TV to now. And we were talking sort of 20 million people were watching shows and everyone was saying, that's a vast amount. It was never going to be like that again. Yes, it is, but it's just in a different way.
Yeah, and there's part of me that, I'm glad I've lived through that bridge, but I look back on something like Spooks, which I just loved doing.
Oh, I loved watching it.
But it never really caught. It wasn't at a point where there was a streamer. I mean, it was shown. I think they showed the first 3 series in America. But if that show was on now, it would be a Netflix show or it would be a global show. Yeah. So I've lived through that transition. But it is amazing. And I think Netflix is kind of unique in that global platform that everything's on at the same time.
At the same time.
Drops at the same moment. So I love them. I love being a Netflix boy.
So I'm just going back on what you said, an Armitage brand.
Yeah. Sounds weird.
Did you just say that about yourself? I suppose you are a brand, though, because you're an author. We'll talk about that in a minute. You're an author, you're a writer, you're a voiceover artist, you're an actor. You can sing and dance, because that's how you started, and you still sing, because we saw you recently sing. So I suppose, yes, you are a brand. Do you have a clothing brand?
No.
Do you have watches?
I would love to do that, yeah.
Do watches. You could be one of those, that photograph with you just...
Well, people on red carpets, when they hold their arm like that, and you're like, why are you... you're showing off your watch.
Your watch.
The reason I did it was because I've just taken on new reps in America because I haven't had... US representation as an agent for a while, and actually it's like I need to sort of reintroduce them to me and to the marketplace, which is slightly different to when I came out of The Hobbit 10 years later and I'm older, so I needed to do it, but it was quite useful exercise for myself. But yeah, I mean, it kind of is a bit of a brand, like voiceover writing.
So which would you put at the top?
At the top was the film. Was film first, then television, then...
No, but I mean, what do you put at the top of you? Because you do many things. You're and in the old days, an entertainer.
I'm an entertainer. Yeah.
And actually, I really love that. That's what, from Robbie Williams to Judi Dench. Judi Dench says, I'm an entertainer. You know? So would you call yourself that as well?
I would, in terms of where my passion lies, I would call myself a storyteller.
Okay, like that. Okay.
Because that incorporates music as well.
Yes.
Like my passion for music is a sort of storytelling adventure as a musician and as an enjoyer of other people's music. It's definitely storytelling.
Okay.
Dance is storytelling, isn't it?
It is, but it's very interesting. I was reading about you that you sort of felt that you had to turn your back on musical theatre years and years ago.
Yeah.
Because it's not serious acting. Is that? Did you feel that at the time? You don't.
Yes.
I imagine you don't feel that now.
Not so much. Although it's a skill I haven't gone back to. I've been asked to, but I haven't, and I think it's because I've got other things I want to explore, and it feels like a part of my life that I did leave behind. But yeah, at the time, if you were in musical theatre, crossing over into TV or what's called straight theatre, I don't really like that.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
It was not. You just weren't in the room or on the list. Less so in America. Like in America, if you're a Broadway star, you move around all over the place. It's not. We don't have the quite the same.
Snobby. I think it's a snobbery.
Yeah,
completely. I mean, I'm lucky that I did a musical for a year in town, and people were, oh, so you're not a TV presenter anymore? No, I am. I can do, but no.
It's like, we like
musical
people to stay in their lane
in their
a bit,
box.
yeah.
You just stay over there while you do it.
But look at someone like Hannah Waddingham. I mean, that's where
Hannah's
she
broken the mold.
came from. She was a hoofer at the same sort of time as me. I remember, on the audition circuit, you'd see her name on all these lists, and it'd be like, Hannah Waddingham.
Well, actually, Bonnie Langford. Langford then was suddenly on television in many dramas, Doctor Who, and then EastEnders, and people said, oh, you can act, which is so patronising, though. But you say you've been asked, so would you be tempted, as a musical theatre fanatic, would you be tempted to go back? Can we cast you?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I would love a challenge. I have, Kiss Me Kate has brushed past me twice in the last 5 years of potential. That kind of
was that meant as a pun, brush, but you know the songs in it. That was very clever. People don't, they're not going to know what I'm talking about. But that, yes, so that, and you're tempted.
I look at that type of musical, which is a kind of old school book musical, and I know there are people out there with a much better ability to do musical comedy. If it was a Sondheim or something kind of with a bit of darkness in it, Sweeney Todd, for example, I would jump at the chance.
Oh, you'd be great as Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, I'd love to try. But
don't laugh. They'll do it. The Menier will be on to you. They'll say,
again,
darling.
There are people out there with like phenomenal singing voices.
Sorry, don't put yourself down. I've heard you sing. We've all heard you sing. You can sing. You can dance. You're a dancer.
It's been a while.
You can't sing.
These old bones.
You can sing. You know you can sing. You're looking at me.
Don't leave a pause like that, like you're expecting me to sing a song.
Others have. Many have. You did, actually, when you came on my radio show, you did a little bit.
Did I do a bit of Misty Mountains?
Yeah, go on.
No, I told you.
A little bit. You just had some coffee. You got nice, it's warm in your... It's not dairy either, it's oat milk. So you can't even say, no, I'm drinking dairy.
There's Bailey's in here, isn't there?
That's what you'd like. You can sing later if you like.
I'll sing later.
Okay, sing later. But then, so from musical theatre, you then moved to screen.
Yeah.
And then years later, you went back to stage. And I've seen you on stage as well. I sound like your stalker. That's really weird. I have, because I love live theatre.
I had to go back to drama school in order to make that transition.
I love that.
While I was doing Cats in the West End with Sarah Hadland.
Yeah, with Sarah.
And I did 42nd Street on tour with her as well. I had made the decision that I had to go back and retrain to get a different agent and to learn classical theatre. So I did that for 3 years. And actually, the last year in Cats in the West End, I was squirreling away all of my understudy money. And my first term at drama school, I was still in the show, so I was finishing the drama.
Oh, they crossed over.
Yeah, I was doing my drama studies in the day and then whizzing off to the theatre at night. And all of the people in my year were like, "Where are you going at night?
They didn't know.
Why are you not in the pub?" I was like, "Oh, I've got to go do my job."
They didn't know.
No.
Oh, I love that.
Whizzing off to put on a
your
catsuit.
paws and the tail and the ears. Okay, so then you retrained. So you're very focused. I mean, I think you'd say that of yourself. You're quite determined and focused. And I mean that as a compliment, because I think being determined and focused about something you want is actually a really good thing. It's what people call manifesting, or whatever word you want to use.
Yeah, I think it comes from dance training as well, because there's a discipline there.
Interesting.
That I remember being in a dance studio, looking at myself in the mirror, looking at other people, and thinking, I'm not at your level. I've got to triple my work ethic to get to where you are. And I don't think I've ever lost that feeling of I'm always catching up, so I've got to work twice as hard as everybody else.
Well, that's interesting.
But it gives me pleasure. To
Working
do
hard.
that work gives me pleasure. Yeah,
I totally get that. So you did your training at Lambda, and then you left and you did screen stuff.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly.
Fairly quickly.
Yeah. And then did you then sort of land at that after doing Cats and all the other stuff you did? Did you land in that and just think, this is what I wanted to be doing?
Yes, and I think
I
it was to do with the strange dichotomy of being quite shy and introverted, suddenly being in theatre, which is a very kind of performative, exposing medium, thinking there's a slight disconnect here. Going onto a TV set where you kind of work in private in a small way, piece by piece on a daily basis. If you get it wrong the day before, you can start again the day after. No one's really watching until it comes out on telly, and then I've run a mile. So yeah, that I really and still really enjoy that, the privacy of filming.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Can you explain that? Because I've never heard anybody else say it like that. That's very interesting.
Well, you learn your scene and you go to work, and there's usually 2 or 3 people in the scene and a crew that aren't really interested in the acting. They're just interested in what they're doing, their piece of technology. So you feel like you're working in private in a way.
Oh, that's so. So it's more. It's intimate.
Much more intimate. And then, of course, it took me 10 years to go back on stage. I think because I'd got so comfortable with the intimacy of filming, so that then I went to do the Crucible, and that was a moment when I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to be on stage every single night with all these people looking at me. And that.
How was that?
I needed a ramp. That it was like I had to kind of psych myself up to be in that public arena.
It's very interesting with a lot of people that come on this, and I'm very open and I talk about it as much as I possibly can because I don't think enough people talk about it. Talk about shyness and being shy and the awkwardness that comes with shyness. It's something that I've always dealt with, and it's interesting hearing you saying that as well. There are a lot of people who are out there listening to this and thinking, hold on a minute. She's on telly, he's on telly, he's on stage, he's in movies. It is still there, but we do what we love. But the shyness sort of doesn't go, does it?
No, but I that's why I kind of advocate a lot. I don't actually do anything. I just talk about it for drama in school because I just think for me, I was that kid who could barely string a sentence together because I was sort of introverted and, I mean, bullied, but I think I couldn't work out quite why. I think it might have been because I was introverted. But drama and whatever it was, whether it was playing music, speaking, some text or reading, when I had other people's words, I suddenly flourished. And I look at school and I think it's the best thing we could give to children is the ability to communicate with each other with other people's words.
I could not agree with you more. I'm go on and on about it. I think it's vital. I think it's vital nowadays when there's far more anxiety and everybody's on their screens and there's a lot of closing down and fear out there. That drama is just it's vital.
Well, it gives you empathy as well. You kind of tap into your own feelings that you don't always know that you've got. But weirdly, once you're in the play and the thing has started and you're in your character, I'm kind of sailing, I'm flying. It's the getting from my house to the theatre through the stage door that process takes a lot of mental agility.
Because you're doing what you love when you're doing it, but it's the actual, like you say, the ramp to get there is, I'll take a deep breath.
And I really struggled with, so for example, at the Crucible, it was such a long show and such a short gap between shows that I couldn't do any autograph signing after the matinee because I only had 40 minutes to get back on stage. So people would wait outside before the show, and I just couldn't. It almost would stop me from doing another play. The thought of having to do autographs or photographs before I
do the show.
performed. So I would try and find ways to sneak into the building in disguise to get.
But that's not because you don't. You really appreciate the fans.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but it was just I was in a headspace. I was like, I'm about to do this performance.
Yes.
I can't break
It's
out
huge.
of that. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
But I love that you talk about it, and it's important you talk about it. It really, really is. Let's talk about let's talk about Missing You, which is on at the moment. I mean, yes, I binged it. I spoke to lovely Harlan and Rosalind the other day on the radio show, and I speak to Harlan once a year about his latest show. I will be saying to him, why is Richard not in the next one? It doesn't make sense. But it's bingeable, and we need it at this time of year. And this one, I can't say too much because I don't want to do any spoilers. I was just about to say something. Episode 5.
Yes, and there are only 5, aren't there? Because when people say episode 5 to me, I'm like, that's 3 before the end. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Actually, we can't. Yeah. Anyway.
Harlan said it's the one show that's made him cry every single
That's
time.
what he said on Sunday. Yeah. He said it's made him cry. And also, what I love about it is that all the twists that we expect and all the turns and all the surprises. And my husband, last night, we watched the final part, and my husband was saying, it's just never stops. I'm now, you blame everybody. You hate everybody. Every single person. Well, it's them. No, it's because of that. Oh, it's because of them. It's so clever.
I mean,
but all of them are so clever.
He's a master at like you say, the up all night, page turning, bingeable. I mean, his books are the same.
I love his books. Yeah.
But I mean, I've really taken a leaf out of that book of how to construct a kind of thriller, because especially a crime thriller, which I think this is, or is it psychological? It's probably crime thriller, isn't it? Because crime's been committed.
Yeah, but it's like it does your head in. I mean, it is. It's playing with your head.
Making everybody a suspect.
Yes, every single person. Every single person.
But also applying something which you can relate to your own life. Like I think a little itch that he likes scratching is digital fingerprints. So how we are online, what trace we leave behind, how we think we are anonymous when we're not. He used that in The Stranger. He uses the dating app in Missing You. And though that scenario, I'm always like, where did you dream that up? Because, finding your ex who suddenly disappeared from your life on a dating app and he's still around and it's unfinished. I mean, that's the opening sort of
Yes, there's no spoilers because everybody knows that bit of it. But it's what I love about it is at this one and the one last year and the year before and the Strange, all of them, is that it's a conversation starter and a conversation piece with friends you haven't seen for ages. Yours, how are you? Oh my God. So this year's Harlan. Oh my! Did you think it? Did you think it? I can't say any of the words because I don't want to give anything away. But it goes where you didn't expect it to go at all. Even though I think because it drives my husband mad because I always say so and so did it on everything we watch. And he'll say,
"Did you think I did it?"
I'm not. We can't say anything. We can't say anything. We can't say anything. But your character is not the nicest character in the beginning, is he? We can't say anything. Oh, it's so frustrating.
I'm quite good at this because I used to have to do it all the time on Spooks. It's basically try and talk about it without telling you anything. Yes, I guess he's a man who was around during the time of what I would call the earthquake that happened, which is the death of Kat Donovan's father.
The father, yes.
He's seen everything. He kind of knows what happened.
He knows everything.
But he's locked it away in a box, and she's looking for the key.
Oh, that's good. You should be a writer. Oh, you are. You are. Let's talk about yours now. Let's talk about Geneva.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
It is. I mean, I actually don't have any acting work slated yet for this year. I've got my producer hat on because this week I'm sitting down with my writer-director and Sony to basically kick off 2025 with Geneva, the TV series. So
it is happening then.
Yeah. We've got a director. So
Oh, congratulations! That
thank
last time I
you.
saw you, you said I can't say anything.
Yeah.
So it's all
moving
out there and
forward.
it's happening.
Yeah. So
Are you in it as well, though?
yes,
Good.
I have to be.
Phew.
It depends how long it takes to get it up and running, though, because TV development can take
No, I don't know.
5
Does
to
it
10
take-
years.
Oh, don't be
So
ridiculous.
I might be in my 60s, but no. Hopefully, we'll move it along quickly. But yeah, writer and director. So we will create a pilot episode, and then go to all the broadcasters and say, well, what do you think about this?
UK or world?
Probably UK, but it is quite an international story.
Yes.
And there are Americans and Canadians in it. So I think it could probably cross the Atlantic.
Well, obviously you've got a very good relationship with Netflix.
I do. That's my little goal.
Okay.
Come on, Netflix.
Oh, this is so
Come on.
exciting. So when are you taking it to them?
We've got to write the pilot first, which is roughly 60 pages. It's like an opener. You've got to, set up the story. But I've got quite a pretty strong idea of what's going to be in that first episode. So we should get that quite soon.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Look at your face. You look so
I
excited.
know.
So when will we be able to watch it? I'm saying January 26th.
That'd be
That'd be very quick. No, January 26th.
Well,
Couldn't it be January 26th? It could be this time next year.
it could, but because it's set in a winter story.
Yes,
so
it's
set
winter.
in Geneva, obviously.
Yes.
During the winter,
Good title for
We'd have
Geneva.
to be filming it now, so we would probably have to film it end of 25 into 26, and then it would probably be later in 26.
So September 26th.
That's very, very optimistic.
No, September 26th.
Yeah.
The new season.
I mean, it six. I mean.
Yeah, no, you do really quick.
6 months post-production.
No, you don't need 6 months post-production because you know what you're doing. You're all really focused. It's fine.
You can edit it.
Yeah.
You can come in and edit.
I'll come and do an on-set report because I love the book. I really love the book.
Thanks.
It's. Do you know what? It's very funny because when I sat down, because I knew I was chatting to you last time, and I sat down and read the book. And usually, what I do is, and I'm sure you've done it as well. When you get a script, you sort of skim. But I actually sat there and I was on the train. I was, okay. Yeah. Oh, I've got to get off. It was that.
Oh.
And I was going from London to Manchester to do Morning Live.
That's a nice.
Yeah.
That's
and
a nice.
It was
read.
and I was thought, oh, I've got to get off the train. And it was that sort of book. It's a really good book. I think it's wonderful. You must be thrilled though, the reaction.
Yeah, and also it was never supposed to be a book. It was only going to be an audio book. So whenever people are potentially reading it, I was like, have a listen as well, because it's Nicola Walker reading the other character, and it was created.
You and Nicola from Spooks days,
and that was completely accidental.
What do you mean it was accidental?
Audible kind of gave me a shortlist, and I said,
I see.
I said, yeah, any of those actors would be great. Like looking at Nicola, thinking she's not going to want to do this, and then she said, yeah, and so this is quite a while back now. This is 2022. We recorded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you liked reading it, have a listen, because she's.
But I know what's going to happen.
Phenomenal. I know, but
and I love Nicola. I have to say, I do love Nicola. Why didn't you do your own? Because you do so much. You've done how many million books? 3 million books.
I did. It's me. I
know.
read it.
No, but why don't you do them all? You could do every book. You do 3 million. I haven't listened to your one.
I did read Missing You.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
You did Missing You.
Yeah.
What, the audiobook?
Yeah.
Before you knew it was happening.
If there isn't enough of me in the Harlan Coben universe, I've just recorded Missing You.
Does that go in brand Armitage?
I feel like it would be Harlan Coben over. He'll be rolling his eyes, going, "God, not him again."
Do you know?
Come on.
You do know that I'm going to at some stage, sort of at 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm doing breakfast or something. When I get up really early, I'm just going to WhatsApp you. Brand Armitage. You're going to go, oh my God.
No, what have I said?
Giving me nightmares.
What have I said?
So what, you did that all those years ago? You did the audiobook for Missing You?
No, only recently.
Oh.
Literally this year.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Okay.
I did kind of go, you sure you want me to read it as well as be in it? And anyway, it was quite a breeze because I knew all the characters' voices. I'd literally just been on set
That's
with them all.
fantastic.
But no, really, I love audio work. I love it.
He's doing something with Reese Witherspoon, isn't he?
Yes.
So you could do that?
Co-writing.
You could be in that?
Yeah.
You and Reese?
Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Reese. So you lived in America, though? You lived in New York?
I do.
Or do you still live in New York?
Yeah, I split my time between New York and London. So
So showbiz. Brand Armitage. So when you get to America and it's brand, do you say it differently? When you go on the shows in America, is it, I'm in New York?
They call me Armitage.
Do they?
Yeah, they Frenchify my name for some reason, and
Okay.
I'd slightly wince, but
Brand Armitage.
Armitage.
That's quite cool.
Thanks.
It works. Okay, so you said you've got no acting work lined up. I think that Brand Armitage isn't going to be the sort of... I do think, Richard, you're not going to sit back and go, oh, I'm not going to work it. There will be stuff coming. And the exciting thing is that you're working on your own stuff. And you'll be able to say, I'm so sorry, I'm busy.
Yeah, well, that normally I would be in a slight panic going, well, I've got no call sheet. I've got no set to be on. But actually, I've got quite a lot on my plate because the work on Geneva, the cut has also been optioned.
Which is
We're
amazing.
still in contract, but and then I'm planning a third book as well. So it's
so you're writing at the same time as well?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try. I need to see the workload, but I'm going to. I've been
crazy.
plotting. I've got a couple of treatments for the next story, but whether I've got the time to do it is.
Oh, you have. You'll find the time to do it because you love what you do.
It's my Sunday morning treat to sit down and just write a chapter. I love it.
One chapter a week.
I'll get the calculator out and look at the deadline and figure out how quickly I have to write.
I love your outlook on life. Are you good? But so apart from going and doing Sondheim, and doing your TV show for Netflix and the next book and the next one as well for Netflix, so that's a double whammy, and probably turning up on set in Harlan Coben's next thing in Manchester, and the musical. Yeah, we mentioned that. What about music-wise? Are you going to carry on doing music?
Well, one of the ideas I had for a third story, I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but I did want to try and incorporate music into, somehow weave it into the story so that it bridged both an audio book and a kind of vocalist so I would potentially sing through the book. But in places,
I love that.
I don't know whether it's possible. Of
course it's possible.
It might just sound a bit like a vanity project. So
what?
I'm thinking about how to weave in music because Spotify started producing audiobooks and it's like, okay, so if the music channel can do audio work, then maybe the audio work can
use
it can music.
Do it.
I know. I'm looking for new avenues.
Go on, now you can sing because you mentioned it. You did say at the end you'll sing.
Is it the end?
Well, not yet, but it's the same.
Should I do Misty Mountains?
You can do whatever you want.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Is it your birthday?
No, not for a long time.
Birthday, not for a long time.
Not for a long time.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, well, that's it. I can see. Yeah, that. You know what? That's out of copyright, so you can sing that anywhere. Do you know years ago?
You're not allowed to play it though, are you?
No, you are.
But not in a movie.
Oh, on television and radio, you're allowed now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because years ago when I used to do a breakfast show with a guy called Chris Evans, and we used to do a show called The Big Breakfast, and we weren't allowed to sing Happy Birthday then because it was in copyright and it would cost a fortune.
So it's gone.
But now you can.
I like to think that was the alternative Marilyn Monroe.
What, you
Marilyn Monroe
doing that?
After she said I'd a lot to drink.
That was the Armitage version. Oh, you're just so much joy. Oh, I just think you're fantastic. Carry on doing what you do. Please don't stop, and carry on being on every show on television because there's just not enough Brand Armitage around.
I can't believe I admitted that. I'm embarrassed.
Never going to be able to forget it. You are a joy.
Look out for my clothing line.
And the watch.
Gaby Roslin Podcast.